Microsoft is currently building a new modular version of Windows under the codename K2 that aims to separate the core operating system from the apps and features you actually use. This isn't just a small update, it is a total rewrite of how Windows functions. The goal is to make the system lighter and faster, but it comes at a heavy cost. By pulling the system apart into different layers, Microsoft is creating a future where the basic tools you rely on might not even be part of the actual Windows you install. Stick around because I'm breaking down every detail of how this mess actually affects you later in the video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. These companies aren't going to tell you when they change the rules, so you need to be here for daily updates to stay ahead of them. So now the core of this plan involves something called state separation. In a normal computer setup today, your files, your settings, and the operating system are all mixed together in one giant pile. If the system crashes, everything is at risk. Microsoft wants to put the operating system files into a separate read-only section that you can't touch and apps can't mess with. While that sounds like a win for security, it also means you lose control. Your own computer becomes a locked box where Microsoft decides which parts of the shell or the desktop experience you're allowed to change. This move is a massive security risk in disguise. When you separate the core from the experience, you're essentially running two different systems at once. Microsoft is trying to chase what Apple has done with macOS and iOS, making a system that is immutable, which is just a fancy way of saying unchangeable. For a regular person, this means if a specific feature breaks, you can't just go in and fix it or tweak a registry setting like you used to. You have to wait for Microsoft to send a layer update. It's a system collapse for anyone who likes to actually own and manage their hardware. The breakdown of this drama is simple. Microsoft is tired of Windows being messy. They want to be able to push updates to the start menu or the taskbar without touching the core code of the computer. But by doing this, they are turning Windows into a collection of web-based pieces and containers. Buying a car where the engine is locked in a box you can't open and the steering wheel is just a tablet screen that needs an internet connection to work. That is what K2 is doing to your desktop. If the experience layer fails to load, you're left staring at a core system that can't do anything. This plan is a failure for the average user because it's being built to solve Microsoft's problems, not yours. They want to make it easier to put Windows on cheap tablets and low-powered laptops that compete with Chromebooks. To do that, they are stripping away the legacy support, the stuff that makes Windows actually useful for work and gaming. If your favorite old app doesn't fit into a K2 container, it simply won't run. They are willing to break your workflow just so they can say Windows is lighter. If you're tired of being a test subject for these big tech experiments, hit that subscribe button right now. We need to keep tracking these changes before your laptop becomes a glorified web browser. The move toward K2 hurts you because it removes the local from local computing. Everything is moving toward a service model. When the shell is separate from the OS, Microsoft can subscribe you to different experiences. You might get the basic shell for free, but want that pro feature? That might be another layer you have to verify or pay for. It's a total shift from owning a tool to being a tenant in a digital building owned by Microsoft. We are seeing a future where your PC is no longer a personal computer. It's a Microsoft terminal. The K2 plan is a security risk because it centralizes all control in their hands. If their update server has a problem, every modular piece of your computer could stop working at once. You are being forced into a system where you have zero say in how the core of your machine operates. But the modular OS isn't the only thing Microsoft is changing. Wait until you see how they plan to use AI to monitor every single layer of this new K2 system. The transition to this K2 architecture means Microsoft is effectively killing off the version of Windows that actually lives on your hard drive. By moving the experience into its own separate layer, they are making the desktop environment a streamable component. If you aren't connected to the internet, or if Microsoft decides your version of the shell is outdated, you could lose access to the very interface you use to open your files. It's a move that prioritizes corporate control over user reliability. It's like buying a video game where the main character and the levels are stored in two different places. If the company decides to change how the character looks or moves, they can do it instantly without asking you. But if their servers go down, you're left with a game that has levels but no character to play them with. This modular design is just a way for Microsoft to keep the keys to your computer in their pocket instead of yours. The personal take here is simple. This move is a total failure for privacy and freedom. Microsoft claims this makes the system cleaner, but clean in big tech language usually means empty of user control. They are pushing legacy apps, the programs you've used for years, into virtualized environments. This adds lag, uses more battery, and makes everything more complicated, just so they can have their perfectly locked down OS. It's a security risk because every time you add a layer or a container, you're adding another place for things to break or be exploited. Microsoft is betting that you won't care about state separation or read-only partitions as long as the start menu looks shiny. They are counting on us to just accept that our computers are becoming appliances like a fridge or a toaster. But a computer is supposed to be a tool that you control, not a service you subscribe to at the whim of a developer in Redmond. If we let Windows K2 become the standard, the idea of owning a PC is officially cooked. So is a faster Windows worth giving up the keys to your own operating system, or is Microsoft finally pushing us too far? Let me know in the comments if you're planning to stick with the old school Windows, or if this K2 news is making you look at Linux. Don't forget to subscribe to stay ahead of the drama, because big tech isn't going to tell you when they're taking your control away. I'm out.